So tell us a little bit. So maybe one of the apprehensions too is what's a good format for a Zoom group? I mean, we're used to doing our in-person groups. We kind of have a format, a schedule we're used to. Tell us a little more. That's part of it. Give an extra 15 minutes at the beginning. What was it like? How did you moderate? Like, what was kind of your leading question? What did you find useful in that?
So there were two things that I wanted to kind of achieve in one is just the main thing was just to connect.
Yeah.
And to let every person in the room have a chance to share their thoughts, their feelings, kind of where their struggles were, where their high points were. It was kind of a high-low thing. We didn't say that, but people were able to, I felt like I know where everybody is right now and how they're doing. And some are doing really, really well. Some were struggling a little bit. And we could pray. We actually prayed for each other kind of throughout the meeting.
Yeah.
And I would do like one or two at a time. And I would just ask, I sort of moderated and said, hey, so Steve and Sheila Cox, Sheila, tell me about Sheila World. What's going on at home? What's going on with the, you take care of a lot of dogs. She does rescue dog.
Yeah.
I want to hear about that. And then, Steve, how's work? And we just did that throughout the night, all around the group. I was probably a little sillier than normal. Not that I know it's hard for y'all to believe that I might possibly... But I did feel like we need to have some fun.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
We need to laugh. And we did. We were just a little bit silly at times. And then at the end, I just said, what do you think God's speaking into your heart right now? What would you tell the group? How would you, what do you think we're learning from this? Where can we grow? How can we encourage each other? What is God speaking to you right now? And just let people that feel like God's kind of gave them a word to give a testimony of, I think God is wanting us to, to connect. And we have extra time on our hands. One of the things we're doing here at the church is we're calling people.
Yeah.
But, we don't need to just have 30 or 40 people at church calling people. We need 300 or 400 people calling people. Yeah. And so the takeaway for a lot of my group was, hey, I'm just going to start calling folks that I know that are in my sphere of influence and just see how they're doing.
That's awesome.
And we text, and that's great, and Facebook, and that's great. But sometimes a phone call really does give a sense that, hey, I've got time for you, and I want to hear your story.
Yeah.
And you better have a little time, because once folks have that connection, they're gonna talk to you a while. So it's probably not gonna be a 5-minute conversation.
Right.
You need to go ahead and say, okay, I'm gonna spend 30 or 40 minutes talking to this person and letting them tell me their story. And so that's kind of one of the takeaways we had, is that now as a small group, we want to see if we can't give other people the experience that we got to enjoy at Zoom.
Yeah.
And this is people we know well. We meet with almost weekly or every other week for our group 3, 4, 5 years. A lot of them have been in the group a while.
Yeah.
Some are new, but there's a couple that are brand new, but mostly people that know each other well. And just thought, man, we're having this great experience that we obviously needed, and we need to help other people have that.
Yeah.
So that was how we kind of managed it. And next week, it went so well. I was a little nervous about having a Bible study part. I think we're going to figure out how to do the Bible study part next week, because we really were able to talk. We really were able to discuss. It didn't seem wonky or weird. Obviously your internet can create a problem, and you may have to call back in.
Yeah.
I had to pay attention to that. One time we dropped a call, and they just asked to come back in. You have to admit them back.
Okay.
So don't forget, if someone's hanging there, I want
They're
back in the
knocking at
meeting.
the door, and you're not letting them in.
If you lead the meeting, you have to let them back in.
Gotcha.
So that's an important part.
Yeah.
But we're excited about next week, and feel like this is one thing that brings a little more normalcy back into our lives. And I didn't think it was going to... Honestly, I was somewhat skeptical. I was excited to try it, but I didn't think it would be great, because I've done a lot of FaceTime before, and some FaceTime experiences, I've taught to teach voice lessons, and I didn't find it seemed to lag. There was too much of a lag, and it made me feel like there was a disconnect.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that. I felt completely connected in the moment. I could hear what they were saying. It worked. I was thrilled.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. And then also, I like to go to bed at night, so at 8:15 the meeting is like over, and I just said, I love y'all, and I ended the meeting.
Nice.
No cleanup, no walking people to their cars. It was over, and it was great, but it was over.